What's up, Algebra 2? This is the video for Unit 1, Lesson 1. Doing some Algebra 1 review here. So we're going to start by graphing a function, which is going to be f of x is equal to 3x plus 2, and they give us this table. This is in your notes. But if you want to write down the table, if you don't have the notes in front of you, it's -2. Let's make this a little longer here. -2, -1, 0, and -4, -1, 2, 5, 8, and then it's 1, 2. So I hope you guys can see my graph paper here, grid lines. I'm going to see if I can draw a straight line. Yeah, no. It's hard to draw straight lines on this sometimes. But this is just kind of, you can use the slope and y-intercept to graph this, but if you want to use the table, you're going to go over to the left 2 for -2, and then down 4, so that would be right here. Then -1 to the left, 1, down 1. Stay at the origin 0, up to 1, over to the right, up 5. So I'm getting these numbers from the table. 2, 8. If you guys remember, this is ordered pairs showing up from our table. So let's make this a little bit. So our graph would look something like that, right? Good. All right, let's see here. So then it tells us to evaluate a couple things. So first one, it starts with f of 2. What is f of 2 equal to? And we have to remember how we evaluate stuff like this. This is called function notation. When we're given a function f of x, that's how we say this, and then it tells us to evaluate, well, what is f of 2? That means that everywhere I see an x in this function, I'm going to stick in 2 as my input. So I'm going to do that. So everywhere I see an x, I'm going to replace it with a 2, and then I'm going to have to do this math. And I use order of operations, so 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is equal to 8. And they give us another one that's similar, f of 0.5. So I have 3 times 0.5 plus 2. I'm again just taking this value and plugging it in to my function for x. 3 times 0.5 is the same as taking half of 3, which is 1.5 plus 2, and that is all equal to 3.5. All right, good. And then now it asks us something a little bit different. I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Let me actually grab my function so that I have it. All right. So we're still using the same function, but it asks us a new question, and that is, what is x when f of x is 2? So here it's asking us something different. It's not telling us what x is and having us find f of x. It's telling us what f of x is and having us work back and figure out what x is. So instead of replacing x, I'm going to replace f of x, the whole thing, with 2. Keep the right side of the equation the same, and now I have to solve this equation. and figure out what my x is. So to do that, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. Let me get a better color. Let me just go like this. Minus 2. So then I would have 0 is equal to, because 2 minus 2 is 0, 3x. Those 2's cancel out. Now I have basically just a coefficient. That's the number in front of my variable. Next to x. So in order to get rid of that, if you guys don't remember, I have to divide. If you have 3 of something and you know that's equal to 0, and you divide by 3, then it's still worthless, right? If I have no money and I divide it into 3, I still have nothing, sadly. Equals x. So that is my answer. Usually you want to write it actually like put x on the left. It's just tradition to write it like that. All right, very good. And then we'll try one more of these, and I'm going to let you guys do the last one, but it is, what is x when f of x is 6.5. I hope you guys can see that over there. 6.5. So again, I do the same thing. I'm going to replace f of x with 6.5, and it's going to be equal to 3x plus 2. I'm going to encourage you guys to pause the video, but I'm going to go through this one a little quicker. Minus 2 from both sides. It's 4.5 equals 3x. And divide by 3. This is going to be equal to 1.5. You can plug this in a calculator if you don't believe me. So we will move on here. I'm going to scroll down. We're going to do one more quick thing. We're going to kind of summarize the steps. And I would maybe write this down in your notebooks. Steps to solve multi-step equations. And maybe I'll put a box around this so that we know that it's important. And how we do that is to first simplify if we can. Simplify is always a good idea. Simplify both sides first, right? Then we're going to undo addition or subtraction with inverse operations. So what that means is if it's addition, we're going to use subtraction, right? Inverse operation just means the opposite. So if it's subtraction, we'll add. So if it's like x minus 2, what do? You add 2 to both sides. The next step is going to be to undo multiplication or division. I'm abbreviating these slightly. Multiplication or division by the same thing, by using inverse operations. And then check solution. You also, might want to write it with the variable on the left. I don't care as much. I know it says that in your notes. most books want you to do that and things. But yeah, so those are going to be the steps. Pause the video, write this down, then we're going to practice a couple and we're going to be done. So I hope you paused the video and wrote that stuff down. We're going to do just 2 of these examples here. Number 2 and number 4, and those are x minus 3 equals 7. This is pretty easy one-step equation. 3x plus 7 equals negative 5. So we think about these and we want to first simplify if we can. We can't simplify either side because we can't combine like terms or anything like that. So the next step is to undo addition or subtraction with the inverse. So I'm going to have to add 3 to both sides. X equals 10. Box my answer, I'm done. And you can check your work. 10 minus 3, is that 7? Yes. All right, next. Again, simplify if you're able to. Can't simplify this side. There's no like terms to combine. Same thing over here. So the next step is I undo addition or subtraction with the inverse. So it's addition, so I'm going to subtract 7 from both sides. So now I have 3x on the left is equal to, careful here, negative 5 minus 7, so I'm getting more negative. This is going to be negative 12. And then I divide because I'm going to use the inverse of multiplication. 3x, whenever you see a number next to a variable, that is being multiplied. 3x equals negative 12. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. Divide by 3 here. Use the inverse. Divide by 3. You'll get x equals negative 4. And box our answer. All right, and I will see you guys in the next video.